Well, I'm just going to get started. So, a lot of really great things have been happening lately. You know, I got a promotion at my job. That's amazing. I I started working out again. So many of you may not know, but I have hip dysplasia, and I just found that out a couple of months ago. But I got a cortisone shot in my hip, so I was actually able to play hockey for the first time in months, like 8 months since June, and it definitely took its toll. It hurt a lot. But I started working out again for the first time in several months. And I got to meet a buddy of mine, um, James. I got to meet Leah, and I just want to give a big shout out to them because they're awesome. But James and I actually worked out earlier. It was a really impressive leg day. Um, Another great thing that's happening tomorrow is a release of a new song called Starlight. Some of you have heard us play it live, some of you not. Um, I wrote it about a woman. So, another great thing that's happening tomorrow, it is my 5 year sobriety anniversary. Um, and that is the longest I've ever been clean and sober. I'm uh, I'm pretty impressed with myself, but with my sponsor more or less. He's uh, he's helped me out a lot. He's gotten me through a lot of difficult things. Actually, I'm going through one right now. Uh, Typical life stuff, but I'm growing from it. I've learned what it means to have a full life. Things that I have to question myself every day. You the one thing that I definitely learned is instead of finishing what I want to, finish what I start. I'm really bad about just breaking off and starting a new project without finishing the first one. And then learning what's important, figuring out what's important in life, what's the most important thing to me. You know, can I manage music and life with someone? Can I recognize my own actions? Can I be cognitive of how I treat my partner? Do I project? Do I ego feed? Am I self centered? My biggest problem, I think, is not considering others' feelings in my actions. It can be really bad. But for those of you that just joined, hi. Um, so we have a new song releasing tomorrow. It's called Starlight. I will post where to find it, how to get to it. I hope you enjoy it. I wrote it about a woman, and yeah, I'm very proud of it. It took 2 years to complete this song, just shy, but it's done finally. I'm very happy about that. I have a couple more things. Um, you know, even though I get on here and I know what I'm gonna say, it just spaces. Everybody tells me to get cards, but I don't feel like it's getting to the point. I mean, it brings up points, but it doesn't feel as direct, you know. Anyways, so I was talking earlier about things that I've been going through. And I made a mistake a little over a month ago. And this girl I was seeing found out that I was talking to another woman inappropriately. And I am growing from that mistake. I don't like it. I have to own up to it. But I have to be better. I have to be a better version of myself. I actually haven't wanted to do anything musically or talk to anybody or go live for quite some time, just because, I've been so angry at myself. And I don't know, my sponsor mentioned, don't do things that are ego feeding. I don't know that this is ego feeding. It could be. Maybe I'm just getting my thoughts out. I have a whole list of things I could say. I just want to be better. I'll just read what I wrote originally. Hey guys, I've been away for a while, really focusing and getting down to what I need, focusing on what I want, focusing on the person I want to become. I want to talk about myself and my continued journey. Lately, I haven't been in a good place, but it was self-inflicted, as I've mentioned previously. And today, I want to take personal responsibility. But I don't do this for me. I'm doing this because I want to help other people really reflect and go through the change they need to, not to do what I did. My ex may not like this, but I'm not doing this for her. About a month ago, I spoke to a woman inappropriately multiple times, and it wasn't the first time. The problem is, it's something that I thought I had resolved from years ago, something that I dealt with when I first got into recovery. My need for attention, and I'm sure someone will say that's what I'm doing now by talking about it, but I don't see it that way. I see it as a chance to show people the pain that I caused others and myself. To make people reflect on the actions that include others and not just themselves. But as an individual, it's important to be open, to learn, to promote others' learning and healing. But I have to take personal responsibility. I have to accept what I've done and the actions that follow. Nothing that I did was her fault, even though she does think that it's her fault. She also thinks that she's an idiot. And I don't believe that. It's not her fault. It's mine. It was selfish behavior, and I hate it. I hate it that I was that way. I'm always going to have to live with it. But my future is uncertain, and my karmic debt is through the roof, especially after that. But here are the things that I was taught and how to manage the thoughts and problems of those actions. Yeah, I had to be taught how to do this. Be careful of ego-feeding behavior. Typically, ego-feeding is due to a lack of self-love and respect. I think a lot of my issues stemmed from my hip injury that I sustained a while back. So I have hip dysplasia. And I wasn't doing anything. I was very sloth-like. So I would come home in pain, and I'd lay on the couch, and I couldn't do anything to fix it because I had no idea what the problem was. It just progressed from there, At one point I was doing unbelievably well, and then it just fell off. Number 2, check my motives. What's the purpose of doing what I'm thinking about, and does it serve a greater purpose? 90% of the things that I do tend to not serve a greater purpose. They tend to serve myself because I'm a selfish human being. 3, my actions directly affect everyone. And it doesn't matter what it is, the actions that I take are specific to the people who are close to me in those circumstances. And be accountable. Oftentimes, accountability is the only way that you can resolve. And there are no shortcuts, whether you think there are or not. Learn how to love yourself. A lot of people say it, but it is very, very true. Loving yourself is the quickest way to have respect for yourself and others to you. Know what you want. If you don't know what you want, you'll find what you don't want, and then you'll find through that what you want. And recognize how you treat your partner. Double check, like, self-introspection is super important. It's something that I don't do a lot of, but I've had to lately. It's been pretty rough. And like, talking about this circumstance wasn't easy either. It's very shameful, and I'm not proud of it, but the only people that actually knew about it were very few. James, Brandy, my mom, my grandmother, April at work. There's a couple people, but the one thing that stood out to me was something that April from my work said. She mentioned, through relationships, you consistently have to grow in them, right? You can't ever stop, because you will stop being the best version of yourself. Yeah, it took me a long time to actually talk about this, or even want to be open about it. It's embarrassing. I hurt someone that I loved because of some individual that has no respect for me or my relationship. And it's a common thing. It happens all over the place. Don't get sucked into something that doesn't serve you or your family. Yeah. So there's that. For those of you that didn't know, there is a song releasing tomorrow called Starlight. Some of you may have heard it live, but it is, it's about a woman, a muse, if you will. But the entire premise of me releasing it tomorrow is because tomorrow is my 5-year sobriety date, and that is a massive milestone for me. Actually, in about 1 minute will be the 5-year anniversary of my last use. So, guys, I'm gonna hop off of here. It's been fun. I hope you have a great evening, and take care.